rivalry week, short work week, a night game week. Welcome to Buffalo End Zone, everybody. Kevin Carroll, Andy Young with you as usual. And it's Bills, it's Dolphins, it's in Buffalo. And Andy, we're talking about two teams that are on opposite ends of the spectrum when it comes to 3 weeks into the NFL season.
Spectrum, was that a pun intended?
It wasn't intended, but then it was intended.
It is now. Yeah, I mean, look, the Dolphins team that the Bills are facing seems to be headed towards a crisis point.
Mm-hmm.
There's calls for Mike McDaniel to be fired, Chris Greer, complete overhaul mid-season. We're not even 3 games in yet.
Right.
People are saying, all right, you've got the mini bye coming up after this game. Should you get rocked by the Bills, which I think is a distinct possibility, is it time to clean house? And I think they had their moment in the sun a couple of years ago, pun intended.
Yep.
When they beat the Bills in the weather, the high heat and temperatures in Miami. They bring in Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill, Tua, this flashy offense that kind of revolutionized things, put up 70 points against Denver. But they just can't get out of their own way in a whole host of areas. Defensively,
there's infighting going on.
Yeah, defensively, the guys are constantly banged up. Key players are hurt. Offensively, they reshaped the offensive line. That hasn't seemed to matter so much, and they're not really getting on track the way they like to. I think Tyreek Hill, not happy. Surprise, surprise. And it would be kind of fitting for the Bills in their final regular season home game against probably their most arch rival over their history than to go and just knock the crap out of the Dolphins.
Knock the crap and send them into rebuild mode after 3 weeks of an NFL season in which the Dolphins, they went back and forth with the Patriots. We still don't know what the Patriots ultimately are going to be. They got embarrassed against the Colts in week 1. Meantime, you have the Bills pull off this miraculous win over the Ravens and then do what they were expected to do, is go down to New Jersey and give it to the New York Jets.
Yeah, I mean, the Bills have won 2 games in widely varying fashion. And that goes to show in the statistics. The Bills have the most offensive yards of any team this season. They put up 400 yards in what seemed like an ugly game against the Jets. And, oh, by the by, James Cook rushes for 100 yards. And they don't need Josh Allen to be Superman like he was the previous week when everything had to be on Josh Allen's plate offensively in that game. And he throws for 250 yards in the fourth quarter alone. Puts up over 400 yards of total offense just himself. So this kind of shows that this team can win in a variety of ways, whether it's that physical James Cook, let's run the football, let's be smart, or when they need to light it up and get after it offensively, they can do that through the air with Allen. And I was also really encouraged. I know it's the Jets, and I know it was the Ravens the previous week, but I was encouraged by the defensive adjustments and the way that they really just completely shut down Justin Fields and Breece Hall for the most part in that game, minus a few plays.
And Joey Bosa with the big game there. When you look at how I was concerned, I'll be honest with you, with them going up against the Jets. And I think they should roll right over the Dolphins, but there's that piece there where it's like the Dolphins are playing for their lives coming into this game. We thought there might be a letdown after the win over the Ravens with the Jets. I think this Bills team, though, Andy, when we look at it, is just cool, calm, and collective. And I honestly, it flashed through my brain at one point driving into work. Is this Bills team good enough to be one of those teams that are undefeated into December, and we start talking about them maybe looking to pull the trick off?
Look, I mean, there's a good chance that they're going to be 5-0, 6-0.
Right.
You got to play the Chiefs after that, after the bye week, after you play Carolina. I'm not going to sit here and say this team's going to go undefeated, but they're not a team that typically will play down to an opponent.
Right.
Like, they might lose a close game to a good team.
Mm-hmm.
Every once in a while, they get blown out like they did against the Ravens last year. But for the most part, they're either in a very close game against a good team or they rock bad teams
mm-hmm.
and win convincingly, even if it feels like, oh, man, this is a little tighter than it should be. At the end of the day, they're winning by 10 points, and that's a lot in the NFL. The spread's high for this game, by the way. We'll see if they can cover that. We'll get to that in a little bit. But to my mind, this is a team that can go out, and I've said it, win 13, 14 games, and there's no reason that it's not impossible for them to say, let's win 15, 16 games. I'm not going to say they're going to go 17-0 because, I mean, who does that?
Stevie Johnson does that.
I know. But, I mean, I would not expect them to kind of lay any sort of egg against the Dolphins. It's a short week for the Dolphins, too. They're on the road. It's Thursday night. The Ralph will be rocking. Highmark Stadium will be nuts.
Yeah, and the Dolphins are coming off a game where they were going back and forth with the Patriots right to the very end, and maybe we're looking at a team that spent a lot in that Patriots game where the Bills were in cruise control for the most part and working their way in, Andy, but there is some negatives out there surrounding the Bills.
Yeah.
Matt Milano, like injuries are there on the defensive side of the ball that if the Dolphins can get out of their own way, could take advantage of.
Look, the speed of the Dolphins' offense is still there. Like Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle and Devon Achane are very fast players, right? And that is always the danger that you have to face when you take on the Miami Dolphins. It hasn't clicked fully for them for whatever reason this season. I think they were a little bit better against New England.
Right.
I didn't watch that game from start to finish. I did see some of it and see some of the highlights. But defensively, yeah, I mean, you lose Milano again. But he was playing pretty well, but I don't think it's that big of a loss because the Bills are completely used to playing without him, right? It's the last.
That's a good point.
The last 2 years, he's barely been on the field for them for large stretches.
Ed Oliver's out too.
Ed Oliver is out. But as far as Milano goes at linebacker, I mean, Dorian Williams he started 11 games last year.
I was a big champion of Dorian Williams keeping his starting position when Milano was coming back last year.
Right. And where it does matter, I think, a little bit is when they want to play that 3-linebacker base set, which they probably wouldn't have to do a whole lot of against Miami because they're not the same type of pound-it-heavy teams like the Jets and the Ravens were. So maybe you play more nickel if Taron Johnson, who's also
that's
limited.
The other concern, yeah.
He's a question going into this game. His health after missing last game. He told us after practice the other day that he'll be good to go. But he also said the same thing the previous week against the Jets and then wasn't good to go after taking pregame warm-ups. Cam Lewis also banged up too. So that's your two nickel corners right there, and Cam Lewis is a backup safety, so we'll see about that. But, yeah, Dorian Williams is prepared. I mean, he's as prepared as of a backup as you're going to have. The guy's got experience. He's been in the system now for several seasons. He's been there, done that. Shaq Thompson, he's working his way back from injury. We'll see if he's out there and playing. But, that's a veteran to lean on if they need to go to the 3 linebackers type of deal. And then, obviously, Andreessen's there, too. He's more the middle linebacker backup as opposed to the weak side linebacker that Milano plays. It is concerning that Milano's banged up again, but I think this is kind of why they reworked his contract and made this the final year of his deal because as good as he is, he's past 30 and just can't seem to stay healthy. And we'll see if this is a long-term thing or not. But it's tough with him because he's a great player when he's on the field. He's just run into some injury trouble the last 3 seasons.
Good start to the season, too. So on the offensive side of the ball, pretty clean-looking sheet right there, except you have your star quarterback got punched in the nose against the Jets. And you tell me, Andy, is that a concern? I mean, he finished the game against the Jets. It looked like he was still the regular Josh Allen that he is, even with tissue hanging out of his nose. But what's the concern for the Bills on the Josh Allen thing with the nose?
What concern is my answer to that? There is no concern. It's even if he busted his nose, big deal. He wears a visor. He puts on a clear visor. He said after practice that he wore one in college, hadn't really worn one in a game in the NFL.
He wears one in practice all the time.
Sometimes. Not all the time, but often. And it's usually one of those like omni-colored
Right.
ones that I don't know what the term is for it.
Omni-colored.
Yeah. But anyways, this one's clear that he was wearing in practice the other day. He said it is hotter in there because it traps in the heat, and it is a little louder because it traps in the noise. But other than that, it's fine. I mean, Josh Allen's a tank.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to do a lot more to him than like bruise his nose and give him a little bags under his eyes. He looked weird at the podium. But I think he's fine. That won't rattle him. It is what it is. That's one of those like, I'm hockey player tough. Somebody knocked my tooth out.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go right back in, shove some gauze up there, and let's roll.
That's all you need to do. You mentioned the injuries to the Dolphins on defense, and then the balance we started talking about of the Bills' offense. And Andy, the everybody eat mantra is still holding true 2 games in now, and we see Elijah Moore getting in, Joshua Palmer, Dalton Kincaid. Looks like he's stepped up to the next level as well. And Dawson Knox is just the Dawson Knox that Josh Allen relies on.
I mean, it's cliche, but we're right back to everybody eats.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to do what they feel is best for them to be able to win a game. If they don't have to throw it 50 times, they're happy not to. They're happy to hand the ball to James Cook 20 sometimes. And it looks like he's starting to tick up a little more in the usage, right? And that we
get that new contract.
Right, we
get
wondered
some more
about
action.
that. I mean, the way Brandon Beane talked after the signing of James Cook to that long-term contract extension, it was more like, hey, we're happy with him under 50% of the carries because it keeps him fresh.
Mm-hmm.
But when he's rolling like he was against the Jets, you just kind of keep it going, right? Like not every single run was this big explosive play. He did have the one that was the spectacular 44-yard touchdown. That was sick.
Nothing short of incredible.
I mean, he's proving that he's one of the best running backs in the league. But the offensive line did its job, and you spread the football around. Like, Keon Coleman gets a couple of catches, Josh Palmer. Knox had a couple of drops in that game, which were kind of ugly.
Yeah.
That was old Dawson Knox, right?
That's what I'm saying. Old Dawson Knox.
That was
there.
rookie, second-year kind of Dawson Knox stuff. And that's going to be the mantra of this team till somebody says that it doesn't work because, yeah, Keon Coleman looked better, but they didn't feel the need to throw the ball a ton against the Jets. They didn't have to, right? So I think they're content with whatever the defense is kind of giving them, whatever the game script plays out. They'll take what they need to do. If Josh needs to run around and throw deep and do all those things, great. If not, let's pack it in and just bludgeon teams.
Yeah, and history, I mean, Josh Allen has owned the Miami Dolphins since his arrival. Like, even early in his career, the Miami Dolphins were a team he just put great games together against, and I don't see that changing. I mean, it's a completely different year, completely different team, but for some reason, when the turquoise and orange show up, Josh just lights it up.
The Bills under Sean McDermott are 15-2 against the Dolphins, and they've won 6 straight. So other than the first year where they swept them under McDermott, and that was Tyrod.
Yep.
Josh Allen has accounted for 2 losses in his career against the Dolphins and basically has dominated them for the most part throughout his career. And for whatever reason, the combination of the Dolphins stinking and the Bills being really good, they've owned them. Even in those close games, right? Like, they do enough to get over the top. Think about the game where it was win and get in to get to the playoffs. The long field goal last year, right? From Tyler Bass.
I always think back of the playoff game against Skylar Thompson was the Dolphins quarterback.
And that turned out to be a really close game.
And that was a game that was a little bit tighter than everyone thought. But with where things stand right now, with where both these teams are, you would expect the Bills to just come out firing, build a lead on a Thursday night, and then keep it basic the rest of the night and get your win.
And I think it's a game where there's opportunities at all levels against the defense of Miami. I think they can have a shot to run the football like they did against the Jets. Maybe not quite to that degree of well over 200 yards rushing, but I think James Cook can still have a nice game, and I think there's plenty of opportunities in the passing game. I do not like the Dolphins secondary. I don't think it's good, and I think there's plenty of chances for the Bills if they decide to go airborne to do some damage there.
Yeah, 100% agree with that. On the other side, when you look at Tua and the Dolphins' offense, from what I recall, their offense is based off of their passing game, off getting the ball out of Tua's hands quick and getting it to these speedy wide receivers. And from what I've seen with the Dolphins' loss to the Colts and the Patriots, that's just not working for that offense right now.
If you get him off his spot quickly, off that first read, off that timing, off those quick hitters to Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, he's not nearly as effective. It's proven. Like, he's deep into his career now. He's not a young quarterback anymore. So it's proven. There's a formula. Get to him, get him off his spot, block those quick passing lanes because he's a shorter quarterback, and you can rattle him. And he's thrown 3 interceptions already this season. I think the book is out on Tua and Mike McDaniel and how they want to operate that offense. They do need to get the ball more to Devon Achane. He's a really good running back, and then also use Ollie Gordon too.
I was going to get to that next. I think
that's the Achilles heel of the Bills is running.
Right. So we talked about that after what Derrick Henry did and going into the Jets game. Can the Jets do it? Ultimately, they could not do it. Now, Devon Achane, what will he be able to do, and could the Bills' woes at stopping the run game rear their ugly head in this one and make it more interesting than it should be?
It's certainly possible, and with Ed Oliver out, that obviously makes things a concern. Now, he missed last game, and they didn't really miss him at all because they dominated up front, Joey Bosa leading the way there. I thought that it was interesting the Bills went with Deion Walker, the rookie defensive tackle, as the starter next to Daquan Jones, playing a 3 technique as opposed to the nose tackle 1 technique type behind Daquan Jones that Walker had done throughout training camp, because he does offer quite a bit in the pass rush game for a guy his size at 6'7", 330-plus pounds. He's not just a road grader. Can be a penetrator. And then T.J. Sanders on the other side.
That could be an issue
working with Zion
in the passing game, too.
Yeah, working with Zion Logue. And that's really key. Interior pressure up the front gets Tua out of his spot quickly, and then those guys have to stand stout against the running game. And I talked with Greg Rousseau, a bunch of us in the media did, the other day after practice, and he said, look, when you play this kind of speed that they have, it's really about understanding your assignment, your lane, getting there, and rallying to the football. So, like, all right, quick hitter to Tyreek Hill. Well, you don't have time to just stand there and turn around and diagnose. You got to be already on your way. And then you can take a 8-yard play and avoid making it an 80-yard play. Achane, same kind of deal. Really fast. He's done damage to the Bills before.
Yes.
So that's obviously a concern. Waddle has done damage against them. So this isn't like it's a team bereft of talent. It just is a team that is rudderless to me.
In their first meeting last year, the game down in Miami, it was Achane who was just running through. I remember just running through the Bills. And then the game got out of hand because Tua threw 2 interceptions.
Right.
And that put them.
And Cook had a monster game.
Yeah, behind the 8 ball, and the Bills took off from there, which you could totally see that same script coming out here this Thursday night.
Yeah, I think so. I mean,
I don't even remember the Bills-Dolphins game in Buffalo last year.
It's not that memorable.
I just don't.
It should be, because it was the game where they kicked the late field goal, remember?
I know.
The deep ball to Keon Coleman. Jordan Poyer
knocks
breaks
Coleman
it up,
out.
but
yeah,
it's pass interference. They get the long field goal. Tyler Bass boots the field goal to win it.
That was the end of the game?
Yeah.
My mind has that being in the first half.
What?
I mean, I have a pretty good memory, Andy. I don't
think you do.
No, I just don't remember that game at all. Like, was it a 3-0 game? Because I don't remember anything else from that afternoon.
No, it was not. It was 30-27.
Oh, that sounds more interesting than I thought it was.
Yeah.
Now, the first meeting down in Miami, I remember really well, but
Waddle scored with a minute 38 left in that game to tie it 27-27.
all right, now it's coming back to me.
Achane had a couple of touchdowns. So
It should be interesting, but how the season has started for both these teams, you're assuming this is going to be a blowout, and Mike McDaniels is out of a job right after the game.
I don't know if they'll fire him, but if there's a chance if the Bills blow him
It's
out.
amazing that he was like the next wave of head coaches who was such a genius offensively that the Dolphins were going to be a juggernaut for a while, and how the league just kind of figured it out.
I think there's also been talk about lack of accountability, kind of that discipline structure. While you have high-end talent and also kind of a revolutionary system, once teams figure that out, you got to have a next step, right? And they never found that next step. I also fault the GM, Chris Greer, who continues to survive coach after coach here, a couple of coaches, and he's the one that puts together this talent, this roster that is obviously not good enough and not not the way you win in the NFL.
Right. The talent's there, Andy, but, I mean, I'm one of the few people who thinks their head coach is kind of a boob. Like, the way he interacts with the media, wearing a T-shirt that said it's not cold enough here in Buffalo or whatever he did for one of the games. Like, all that stuff to me, get your team. You can do that when you get your team set and in the right place and mentally focused, which I just don't think they are. And to me, that's part of his personality is why the team is like that.
Yeah, I mean, he's kind of one of the boys.
Right.
Which works when you're winning and you have the right things going on, but when it boils down to, again, leadership, structure, discipline, and I'm not a Dolphins insider. I don't know what's going on in there. So these are just reports, things you hear.
Yeah.
Articles you read that maybe that's lacking. He's got to find a way to steer them out of this. So far, he's not been able to.
Will this Dolphins team turn? I mean, what is it? Once you get to 0-2, your chances of making the playoffs are pretty slim. You get to 0-3, which the Chiefs are
in danger of
0-3 as well. Which
let's talk about the AFC picture.
It's amazing when you look at the Chiefs in last place in the West. You got the Chargers, Raiders, Broncos, then the Chiefs way at the bottom.
I mean, this is all about the 1 seed for the Bills, right? And the path seems clearer than ever.
You got your win over the Ravens. That's one of the check marks you needed.
Look, I think the Chargers are really good.
Yep.
And I think they're going to be competitive for that, but I think those teams will kind of knock each other off. I think the Broncos been a little disappointing thus far. Raiders, they're a so-so team. The Chiefs are going to be there. I don't think this is the Chiefs having a losing season. They'll pull out of it.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't think they're where they need to be.
They got all those lucky wins last season, Andy, and I don't see it.
And they're hurt offensively.
Yeah.
Rashee Rice is suspended. Xavier Worthy got hurt. So they don't have all their horses.
Kelsey's old,
and actually was having a pretty good game before he fumbled that ball and bobbled it and intercepted against the Eagles. I just think that it's time for these other teams to rise up. If there's ever a chance, and we've said this for a couple of years now, dealing with the Chiefs, you got to go take it. So this is all about the 1 seed for Buffalo. The Colts, huh? Right?
Are the Colts what they look like 2 games in? I don't know. I mean,
Daniel Jones, looks pretty damn good.
Wouldn't that be...
That's an indictment on
the
Dable and
the
Shane.
Right.
If Daniel Jones can go there and make them a good team.
I think as soon as Harbaugh showed up with the Chargers, you figured that they were going to be legit
He's been good everywhere he's ever been.
with Justin Herbert and what they had already in place.
Right.
And this might be the year, like you could be looking at Bills and Chargers, like the ones battling it out.
Yeah.
In the end.
Baltimore's going to be there. Baltimore is incredible.
Right.
Their offense just put up another 45 job or whatever it was.
Houston 0-2 is also a
I'm
bit
down
of a
on
surprise.
Houston now. I don't see it with Stroud. I liked Stroud a lot. I thought he was going to be the next big thing. It's just not there at this point right now. And then the Bengals are 2-0, but Burrow is out until at least mid-December.
Right.
Can Jake Browning keep them afloat until that point? We'll see. I mean, he had a nice game last game.
Right.
So if there's ever a path for the Bills to get this 1 seed, it is now. It's a massive disappointment if they don't do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because their schedule's really easy, especially at the beginning of the year.
Right, so you have the Dolphins, you have the Falcons coming up, you got the Patriots coming up,
Saints,
the
Panthers,
the Saints and Panthers.
and then Chiefs.
Incredible.
So, I mean, they could easily be 6-7-0, and then, all right, we're talking now. So we're going Dolphins, Saints, Patriots, at the Falcons, bye week, Panthers, Chiefs, Dolphins again, and the Bucs come to town, who I think is a really sneaky good team. Baker Mayfield's ballsy, right? At the
I like that
Texans,
team,
that's maybe not as tough a game as we thought. Who knows? Steelers, Bengals, that's maybe the week or so before Burrow is projected to come back.
Wow.
We'll see. Patriots, Browns, Eagles, Jets. Like, go do it.
Absolutely.
Go lose 2 games, finish 15-2, and get the 1 seed. This is your time.
And next up, the Dolphins. Bills 12.5-point favorite, Andy, in this one. That's big.
That's a huge line.
I don't see the Bills having any problem getting it, though.
I would say under, just because I would take the Bills not to cover that. Just because when spreads are pushing 2 touchdowns, I just have a hard time thinking, all right, the Bills win, say, 27-17. That's a big win.
Yeah.
They win pretty easily, but it's still only 10 points.
49.5.
Over.
8. What?
Take the over.
Really?
Why not?
What? I would just see the Bills getting up like
35-20. That's 55.
I don't see the Dolphins putting up 20 points.
Okay.
I see the Bills getting maybe to 27 and the Dolphins maybe to 10.
Okay. So you're talking under 40.
Yeah. Because it's a Thursday night game. Like, you just want to get out of there.
I can see the Bills putting up like 45 points.
Really?
They put up 40 against the Ravens.
Yeah, but they had to put up 40 against the Ravens. I don't think you have to put up 40 against the Dolphins because Mitch Trubisky's going to be playing most of the fourth quarter.
Okay. We agree.
Maybe
to disagree.
Tyrell Shavers will have another 69-yard touchdown.
One can hope.
Yeah. So that's it. I think we both, when we do this little part of the show, the Bills are going to win this one handily.
Yes.
Can we both agree on that?
Yes.
And I right now feel like I'm going to have egg on my face by saying that this was likely going to be a Bills down year. But then I looked at the schedule and I said that would be a nightmare.
You were really nervous. You talked yourself into thinking they were going to have a hard year, which they still could. I mean,
Right.
come on.
It's
We're
2 weeks in.
2 weeks in. But you could also talk yourself into 15-2, like I just said.
Yeah, which that's where I am now. Let's do a little 3 and out, Andy. Before we go, we'll start with golf and Oak Hill Country Club in Rochester.
Never heard of it.
Look, I've played there.
So
Have
have
you?
I.
I know you have.
Played with you.
I know you
there.
did. Another PGA championship.
Can we tell a story real quick about Oak Hill Country Club?
Which one? I got a few.
remember in 2013 we played in the media outing?
Yep.
And we had a colleague of ours play with us.
Yep.
And there's a strict dress code
Yes.
at Oak Hill. And this colleague showed up in cargo shorts.
Which the dress code says golf shorts allowed only, meaning golf pants but shorts.
Right. So they made him go buy a pair.
No, they
gave him a pair,
yeah,
right?
they had like a lost and found where you had to go find out ones that fit you too.
So he had to change into golf shorts without the cargo pockets and all that stuff. And
Right.
we went out and had a good time after that.
But
It
the
was
best
awesome.
part was when he came up to me and he goes, I don't understand what they're saying. These are the shorts I golf in all the time.
These are my golf shorts.
These are my golf shorts. It's like, yeah, but come on.
Just a different understanding of the stuffiness of golf, right?
Yeah, and it's fancy Oak Hill, so you got
And now people wear hoodies and like workout pants to golf.
joggers. It's
PGA guys.
what's his name? Justin Thomas. Used to be a big fan. Then he came out in joggers one day, and
I'm going to wear some knickers with the socks tucked into the top, the big loose pants like from the 1930s.
DeChambeau, I think, broke that out because of his
The Payne Stewart
Payne
look.
Stewart look.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's cool. That's 2035, the PGA Championship coming back to Oak
Are we
Hill.
still going to be doing this in 12 years
That's
or 10 years?
That's been going through my head the whole time. Will I be playing in the Media Day event again in 12 years? I don't know.
You're kind of like a cockroach. You'll figure out a way to stay alive.
Yeah. Nice adding roach at the end of that. Cockroach. Yeah. So that going on. I was away. I was at a wedding, Andy, up in the White Mountains. Beautiful wedding. My cousin Becca and her new husband Chuck. Awesome for them. It was at a golf course. So the way it was set up, if you wanted to play 9 holes in the morning, you could play 9 holes before the wedding, which me and my brothers and my nephew did. 2 par 3s on it were closest to the pin. Awesome, right? I get closest to the pin on the second par 3.
Just among your group or overall?
Overall.
Oh, it was like a scramble?
Yeah.
Oh.
So I'm like, I don't know what the prize is, whatever. But my cousin Steve, he's a real funny dude. You knew there was something underhanded as part of getting closest to the pin. You got a gift card, which was nice, but you then had to give a speech during the wedding.
Oh.
Which was a nice twist. Yeah, you won the gift card, but you got to come up and
Man, that's painful for you because you don't talk for a living or
no.
anything.
Well, that's why, I was fine with it, but the guy in front of me who got the first closest to the pin, he was asked to just give a memory of his daughter, Becca. So I'm like, oh, I got plenty of memories of that. When I get up there, he asked me to give marital advice to the two of them.
What's up, Claire? How you doing?
I literally, the first thing I said was, Claire, you might want to cover your ears on this one. But it all went well.
What was the advice you gave?
Oh, well, first of all, I said, oh, I thought you were going to ask me a memory about Becca, and I was going to come up here and talk about how she was at the 10-mile marker of the Boston Marathon where I beat Doug Flutie. And so, no.
Never heard that story before.
My marital advice was I toyed with going what was given to our friend Mark Goshgarian and his wife from the priest about farming and plowing crops and stuff, but I stared away from that.
The priest said that?
Oh, yeah. I've never told you that story.
I
I'm
don't-
not going to say it on the podcast.
All right, we'll talk after.
But yeah, being teammates,
Yeah.
you will go through hard times, but just know, keep this feeling and know that this is the person you're spending the rest of your life with. There'll be ups and downs with everything and challenges, but, you're there for each other.
Aw.
It was nice. It was a nice thing by me.
What's your third out?
Well, we usually do what you're watching,
Yeah.
I am currently watching Matlock on Tubi. Start to finish. Shocker.
I told you this last week. I think you belonged in a generation prior to yourself.
But when Matlock was around, I was like, oh, this show's for old people. But
Is
now
Murder
that old
She Wrote on tonight?
We'll get to Murder, She Wrote eventually. The other thing is, Andy, weddings, young man's game. Like, I've reached that point where I know I'm one of the older people there that no one's interested in.
Yeah.
You're just there, hanging out, talking to family and friends, having a few drinks.
Did you get on the
No
dance
dancing.
floor? No dancing.
To Claire's anger later on that night, no, we did not get out on the dance floor. My bad.
This is kind of the same deal, though. I just last night restarted watching The Sopranos.
I've never seen one episode of
From the first episode, I decided to start that over. And I had been on and off with watching Game of Thrones again because it's been long enough since that's been off the air. But I'm one of those, I've probably seen The Sopranos 7 times through. But I pick up new things every time I watch it. And I'll be on my phone and I'm doing other stuff. But in the evening after the kids go to bed, I just, for whatever reason, I cannot get myself into newer shows.
I don't even know any newer shows.
People talk about different shows that are on, and they're like, oh, did you see this? Did you watch whatever, Succession, Ted Lasso, blah, blah, blah. And I just can never get myself into watching these newer shows. There's occasions where I do, but I'm kind of like you, back to the hits.
Yeah. I mean, that's why Tubi is great, Andy. I mean,
you're talking about Matlock and Murder, She Wrote. All I can picture is...
It was Columbo.
Right, I can hear... You said Matlock.
Did I really?
Yeah.
Well, I'm an idiot.
Right.
It's Columbo, not Matlock.
All I can think about is Pat Summerall be going, and coming up on your local stations, it's 60 Minutes, except on the West Coast. Right.
Followed by Murder, She Wrote.
Right. Exactly.
But that's it.
All right.
So
let's wrap it up.
We'll head out. Bills, Dolphins.
Thursday night football.
Last Dolphins game in the former Ralph Wilson Stadium.
Former Rich Stadium. Former New Era Field. Current Highmark.
Yep.
Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, give us a review, share the podcast. We would love for you to do that.
Thanks, everybody. We'll see you after the game.